It's time for some hostile therapy.
Go to the main screen. And all right, welcome back to another episode of Hostile Therapy here on Thursdays. Big Red and returning for another episode. It's Mr. Chris Styles, Vintage.
Chris Styles in the building.
He got some dinner reservations later on tonight he has to make.
Yeah.
So let's make this quick and simple.
Eat up.
All right. Let's get straight into it. We're going to get straight into the Leave It Unmedicated segment for today. Your boy. Oh, wait a minute. The other side of that. There's some writing on the other side of that. I just caught.
This is, I think, has become the way of giving out what music is within me. So I have no idea what that means, but I
was waiting for you to elaborate what that meant. Dang,
so it's like, but I definitely appreciate Paula Cutts for making this for me a few years back.
Give Paula Cutts a call right quick. Let's see what that means. Here you have this deep message, philosophical message. All I have is what you talking about, Willis.
Right. You know how it goes sometimes.
Exactly what I'm asking. What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
I don't know, but it sounds good. Okay. All right. Let's go to the first story for today. Let's see what we got. What we got on the docket today. So we're gonna do Leave It or Medicated.
Leave it or medicated.
Your boy Deshaun Watson. I don't know. Can I officially call your boy? I don't want to attach him to you.
Yeah. You can do that.
Okay. He's a Cleveland Cavalier, Cleveland Brown.
Yeah.
Quarterback now. Left the Houston Texans. Not in the best of terms, but he's had this sexual assault case follow him for a year and a half or so. And originally he got 5 game suspension. And then Commissioner Goodell was not appreciative of 5 games. He felt, based on the evidence or what he thought was detrimental conduct for the NFL, based on his conduct, he felt like he deserved more. And so today, he is suspended for 11 games. And I think it is a record $5 million for his conduct. And let's see, because he was accused of sexual assault and harassment, even though he hasn't been found guilty of any of it. But
in the court of law, they even bring it to fruition.
Yeah, they even took it to a judge. Like I said, they convict him, but he's saying, well, just because you weren't convicted, there were actions that you gave into that made us look bad as an NFL, as a publicly traded company. Because that's what it's really all about. Because
absolutely.
They're looking at how the investors are going to look at it and seeing if you're putting a stain on their name. For a good example of that would be...
They're already doing a good job of doing that themselves, though.
Right.
But they cover it up.
What's his name? Robert Kraft would be one of them. There's many owners have had lawsuits, sexual harassment cases against them. Nothing has happened to them. The only one that really can come to my mind is probably that guy that owned the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and I can't think of what his name is right now.
Yeah, but he's still rich. He was a billionaire. He's still rich.
It don't even matter. Like, none of that stuff is hurting or bothering him.
No, not at all. No. That was now. There's this money he gonna invest into something else, maybe another team, maybe in hockey this time.
And then
But
the owner for Miami also going through
yeah,
that with
yeah. What did he do?
but
He trade tampering or something. What was it? Player tampering?
trade player trade tampering, and also the fact that the head coach at the time, I think it was
Oh,
Flores, they were trying to. He was offered him a certain amount of money each game to lose the game, so they can get a better, higher
that's right.
draft pick. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that too. The black head coach of the Dolphins, like they would
yeah,
pretty much tell him to take a dive so they could do bad in the season and get a higher lottery pick, basically, if I understand
right.
correctly. And then there was some hiring practices that was
hmm
messed up with him too, right? Wasn't he trying to go to another team and they didn't really do a thorough interview with him? They had already had who they had in mind, who they were going to hire. Even though they
Absolutely.
made him go through the interview, they knew before he even got to the interview who they were going to hire. It's like they just had to follow protocol due to the
Right.
room.
Well, we just gonna go through protocol. Thanks for your time.
Right.
And
So
it's crazy because how, like, sometimes it's like the universe work in mysterious ways.
mhm.
And he found out by context of a text that wasn't even meant for him. Like the person that he sent it to had his first name, and he just happened to click on the wrong one. He must have sent it at a late hour when he was tipsy or something, and didn't
Right.
recognize who he sent it to. Then it was like, are
Wasn't
y'all
it?
stuck?
It was Belichick, wasn't it? Wasn't Belichick to send him like a congratulations, like
Yeah,
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 but he sent it to the wrong guy that had the same name, I think, and he sent it to the
yeah,
wrong person.
and sent it to the wrong individual. And checkmate.
So okay, well, let's get back to the main story. So believe it or medicated on this is: do you think after giving the initial punishment of 5 games, um,
6.
that 6 games, okay, do you think they should have went back, looked at what he did, detrimental conduct, whatever, and gave him 11 games after the judge had already given her opinion of what should be done to him? Do you think I'm about to say Commissioner Gordon, Commissioner Goodell should have Batman?
Batman.
Do you think Commissioner Goodell should have went back and changed hit to what
I'm
he
going.
thought?
I'm going to medicate it.
Going to medicate? Okay.
Yeah,
Tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
I'm going to medicate it for the simple fact that um, players are held to a different standard, especially black players are held to a different standard than their Caucasian counterparts. Even ownership, who's committed atrocities. Um, in opposed to this, you have somebody who was not convicted in court of law, not even brought to trial um, in regards to this, and I do believe after some of the women's testimony, yeah, you know, he was a little bit pushy when he shouldn't have. He should have been more respectful on it and let it be. Um, if he has a girlfriend, he could have asked her to do it. I don't know why he I don't understand what the situation was with that, but he had like a little strings for some little chains for some strings or whatever that is. But I just feel like they went overboard beyond that to prove a point. But I don't think because the owners didn't like the fact that he was guaranteed so much money up front, and he was a black athlete that like no, we going no, we're gonna chop and take that down one way or the other. But we definitely not treated right. Um, treated on equal terms as far as that's concerned. And I don't think or believe that he should have went back um, and they agreed on 11 games and $5 million. If it was 11 games for me, it'd be like 11. You might get 2 million. And
Mm-hmm.
5, that's ridiculous.
Okay. I think I'm gonna medicate it too.
Are you ready? Go!
I'm gonna medicate kind of for the same reasons. Like, I don't understand the process to why would you give power to that judge to make a ruling of you should get 6 games and then take that power away and then make your own ruling of how many games she should get. What I don't understand the point of it, but again, he wasn't convicted in a court of law. Of course, you could say his conduct was viewed as detrimental to the league, but was it illegal? No. Was it immoral? Of course. I understand like I said, we were saying earlier, it's a publicly traded company. You have to look out for the interests of that, but there have been much worse
Absolutely.
that they gave a slap on the wrist. Matter of fact, what is the dude's name? And I hate to even say it because he's on my own team. The running back from Dallas,
Ezekiel
Elliott. Like he had charges of hitting a woman, and he didn't get this much of a punishment.
Yeah, and part of that was it came out to be fake, but with the allegations that went forward against him, I think he might have got sick. He might have got. I know he did get suspended for a couple games.
Yeah, he did, but nowhere near this.
Nah.
I mean, exactly. I understand again. I understand one is immoral, and he did. He did some stupid shit. I don't know why he would do it. Being in the position he's in, dude, just pay for it, or just pay for someone to do whatever you wanted to do. I know it's not about that because some people say you got to be sick in the head to want some stuff like that. But still, this guy allegedly beat on a girl,
right?
And didn't get I think he got like 7 or 8 games, something like that. He missed over half the season.
I know it was 6. I know it was 6 or more. And again, and then coming back to that, the girl came back and said that, correct me if I'm wrong, that she came back and lied about the whole accusation because she was mad at him or something. If something happened and she was mad at him, and so she was going to try to ruin his career. I guess he didn't want to mess with her no more, whatever that is. And she's like, I want to ruin your career. So how awful is that for this man to lose money, lose time on the field, and really, even with that being said, when he came back, I don't think he was 100% because he ain't really run the same.
No, he did.
After that, like something happened.
So you mentioned something very important too. He lost money. At least I was gonna say if I'm going to say one benefit of that, he did lose money on that one.
Yes, he did.
Sean, he's at a $5 million fine.
And all the lawsuits, civil suits he's been settling. I don't even know. I don't even know how much that is, but $5 million. You didn't even find. You didn't even find. You didn't find Kraft. That.
Is that to Deshaun or is that the Cleveland Browns organization?
Matter of fact, no, that was for Watson, and this is supposed to. He put $5 million of his funds to go to this cause of spreading awareness across the United States and these different organizations and these, support groups and things like that. And the Cleveland Browns supposedly put up another $1 million.
Yeah, I heard about that.
To go along with that as well. And I'm like, what did they have to do with any of that? But I think while they're doing it, is just to appeal to the public perception, to make things kind of soften a little bit. Like, look, he
public
made some, public relations. Yeah, he did X, Y, and Z. But I'm sure behind the scenes, either $1 million of that is coming out of that to go back to them, or he's doing something on the side separate to go ahead and give them a meal back because, organizations and companies just don't do that. Teams just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they may put it out there like it's their good merit, but no, it ain't coming from them for real. I don't believe it. If you ask me, I don't believe it. I'd have seen some things behind the scenes. I don't care if it's a firm or a corporation or company that I worked for in the past. They align and put things to look good on a PR standpoint, and where it's not going to hurt them tax wise, or it's not going to hurt them financially in any way. They'll reorganize it and put it, oh, it's going to go in as this, so it's not going to hurt them one way or the other. But I'm pretty sure that Deshaun gave up $6 million on that, and he's not being paid for the first 11 games of the year, but with a $230 million contract, guaranteed money, he ain't hurting for nothing.
All right.
Nothing at all. So I just hope he has some money saved from his previous years, because this first 11 games is a hurtful piece, dog.
Right. Well, let's see. Now, I misspoke on one part. Now, Sue L. Robinson, that's the one who gave this original 6-game suspension.
And I appreciate Sue.
Yeah, she's a former federal judge, and right now she is appointed as league and union. Okay, she was appointed by the league and union as a independent disciplinary officer on behalf of the NFL.
So she was arbitrating,
Yeah, but again, what's the point of putting her in that position?
But I think they wasn't expecting her to carry out her job the way she carried it out, because they hired her. I believe that they thought that she was going to come, and put the smack down on Deshaun Watson, when she, in turn, from the information that she got and their behavior and the NFL behavior, owners and all, investors, all of them,
that just usurped her position.
She smacked them back. She smacked them back, letting them know, shit ain't right.
That basically, to me, usurps her power. If you take it away from her, and then, well, no, we're not going to listen to what you did. I'm going to do it. What's the point of putting her in that type of position? And
the players' the players' organization, the union that they have, need to take that out of that clause. So if they ever go back and do an independent thing again, that whatever the arbiter says is what it's supposed to be, and what the arbiter said is what it's supposed to be, because she was the most intimate out of anybody else, besides the people who was, he was in court in Texas twice and wasn't found guilty of doing any wrongdoing. He wasn't, no criminal charges was pressed. Did he have some egregious or a little excessive behavior, begging behavior? Yeah. But it wasn't anything that they found was like, he didn't force somebody to do nothing. He ain't, he didn't rape nobody. He didn't do nothing in the process of all these things. And you know what? I'm gonna take a little step further tonight, bro.
Go ahead.
Red, I think what it is, when you get that much pushback, a lot of times, when you deal with people like this, it hit home for them. Why it hit home is because these are the same people who are doing this behind closed doors and scenes, and it's like a deflection, and they putting all this extra discipline and pain on somebody else, but they're doing the same things behind closed doors. It just hasn't been brought out yet.
All right, well, it has, but you couldn't, again, like you said, it was swept under the rug, like you said. Robert Kraft.
Nah, they listen. A lot of these people in these top rate positions and money, they doing a lot of wicked things, a lot of things that we know shouldn't be out here in the public. But in order to keep that bread, a lot of people are not going to say nothing. They want to keep making their money, keep doing what they're doing, but they're also a powerful force on this planet. So don't think they ain't got people out here working for them behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So so they get away with a lot more. They give it credit for it. It is what it is.
I understand what you're saying, man, and it's crazy, but that's what you get for working in somebody else's league, man. You gotta go by their rules, unfortunately.
So I am hoping that they do change that particular law and that rule, bro. I really hope they take that out, scratch that out, because, um, and I think it wasn't really just public outcry, but I really think that they got mad at her and not used her decision, because again, she brought a heavy hand back on them, saying, "Hey, y'all was the ones who set the precedents." And like we always say, well, I'm not saying you, but I know I always say in any relationship you get into, from a friendship to intimate relationships and things of that nature, don't set a precedence that you can't keep, or you want to change on a whim just because you don't feel like going by this today. I don't like what so and so said today. I don't like how they responded to me when I said such and such, and things of that nature. Um, that's something that they shouldn't do. But again, you see it time and time again,
Mm-hmm.
from the NFL, from other organizations, companies, and whatever. So it is what it is. He accepted. And I think too, from just a PR standpoint, fans, the NFL as a whole, Deshaun Watson, everybody just want this shit to go away. You know what I mean? They like, okay, look, we got some of what we wanted. He got what he wanted, and we're gonna agree on this. You can't appeal it no more. It's a done deal. All right, let's move on. But y'all took this. The NFL took it way far beyond what it needed to be taken care. I mean, put out there like that. And as a whole, you know, I don't know if you even got a glimpse or shown they had a PR situation with the Browns today. I think it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that today. That wasn't like the best. It was like a shit show, kind of, sort of. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't organized correctly. I knew what Deshaun was saying when he said that he maintained his innocence. He didn't do X, Y, and Z. Da, 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 da. I don't know who prepared that speech for him, but they prepared it only from a legal aspect. It didn't have any sympathy for people who might be a Browns fan or might just be in the public in general saying, my daughter is a massage masseuse or whatever like that. And then come across motherfuckers like you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, to me, like, he did what he needed to do to move on and get past it. But it didn't seem like, I think it should have been reworded different. And will people be able to see him as human?
Yeah.
I think he should have just came out and said, hey, look, I was not tried. I mean, I was not convicted for criminal behavior and this and that and the third. It was, I guess, there were some things that I did that I should not have done. And I do apologize for that. I apologize. And he should have just went in that direction, as opposed to saying that, like, he was just totally exonerated, which I get. And they used the standpoint they came from was from legal, but they used from a privileged standpoint. Deshaun is black. Feel me? Deshaun not gonna get that privileged look standpoint all because you're rich and you're a famous player. You still black, dog.
Yeah.
And I think that's how people looked at it. Like, oh my God, like, you trying to come off like you ain't do nothing and this and that and the third. But I understand what he was trying to say just from a legal standpoint. But that other part of it,
it's that level of contrition, man. He doesn't show a high level of contrition. Everything seems manufactured, like it is written by his lawyer. And I think, and that's actually was one of the responses by the NFL arbitrator, Sue Robinson, was that she didn't think he was remorseful enough. And probably the same thing with Roger Goodell. They didn't think he was
because she probably gave him less or no time, right, if it wasn't for what she felt. But And if he didn't take any cues from that, or his legal team did not take any cues from that response, dog, I would have came out this time. Tears. Look, I'm turned to an actor, dog. It's like, look, tears are dripping from my eyes, dog. Seriously.
Yeah.
And it was like, look, I'm just ready to move on from this. Things happen. I'm ready to get back on the field. I'm ready to win. I'm ready to. And he could have changed that to a whole different level of what people get saying. Yeah, you know what? He was sincere. He's a player. He wants to get in here and win. And this is not the third. I think people that took that better. Nobody.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I say no matter what, if people don't like him, they ain't gonna like him, no matter what he has to say.
Right, but I think just to smooth it over a little bit. Shoot, I had ex-girlfriends or people who, with the tears and the crying and know they was terrible wrong. They did all this bad wrong. You know what I'm saying? They knew in their heart and their mind they was wrong, but some people would take a stance because they're so prideful. They have a lot of ego. And sometimes some people believe, and they're really in their heart and their minds, that they didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
And that was like almost a stance. Like it almost seems like his whole life, he may have had this privileged aspect because of his football ability, and nobody ever really checked him.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's almost like he almost played the victim card, the victim role in this whole situation. Yeah. To some degree, yes, he is a victim, but he also was the predator as well.
They're never going to look at him as the victim in
right.
this case. Unless he can totally prove that everyone was lying on him, which he has so many.
Which he has not.
It's hard to give him a shot of the doubt when you got 15, 20 women are saying the same thing. It's hard to get the benefit of the doubt.
But right, and you're absolutely right about that. And it's crazy because, a short story, real quick, right? Let's say if you grew up in a certain area, certain hood, certain city, or whatever like that, and even as being in high school as a teenager, it was amazing to find out how, if you were good at something, or you were a ladies' man, or somebody was just female was just out there, how your name get out there very quickly. And once it's out there, you can't take that back. You know what I'm saying? And so it almost reminded me of that when I'm growing up in high school, that, oh, so-and-so was this and that and the third. I don't know nothing about that chick, or I don't know nothing about that dude. If he is, he is. That's his business. But when your name get out there like that, it's more often that you're going to get exploited, or people are going to come to you because they're like, oh, well, he has sex real good. I'm going to sleep with him, or I'm going to sleep with her because she get fellatio good, or whatever that is. So people going to try just because. But when the information got out there that what he was doing was, weird, a little awkward to some people, it should have stopped a long time ago. But you know what they did? Nah, if you go in there and do that, you're going to get paid this and this, blah, 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 blah. And so the people sidestep certain things to get what they want, but then cry wolf later.
Mm-hmm.
Be like they the victim, but you got something out of that whole deal too. So I'm not saying it's right, but you should have stepped away. I stepped away from one or two modeling deals back in the day because how they was presenting and how they trying to do it was wrong, bro.
Right.
How they was trying to do it was wrong. You should have stepped away.
You got your soul to at least keep. Well,
for sure.
But sometimes money is more important than the soul.
And the same money that you're going to acquire and get from somebody else, to big up your life, I bet you there's probably the 20, 30 dudes plotting on you to take that away from you. So That's how I see it now. I mean, anything you climbing up, they gonna knock you. Somebody gonna be there to try to get it if you allow them in.
The higher you get, the harder the fall will be once they try to knock you off. All right. Let's switch up to the next story. You a fan of James Baldwin, Nikki Giovanni?
Yeah,
James Baldwin, the writer, African American writer, and Nikki Giovanni, a poet.
for sure.
I'm gonna pull up an old school interview. It's a short clip. And this is probably medicated too, but it's a short clip. I'm not saying you were born when that came out.
Oh,
I'm not saying
nah.
that.
But trust me, when I got older, when I heard, whoo, yo, that whole joint, it was deep. It cut me because I knew where they was going with this,
Mm-hmm.
and it was it was an amazing piece.
All right, let me play it right quick there.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I
must.
treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell. Because I love you, I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man?
Good Lord.
Okay. And that's kind of what the subject matter almost last week was about, was treating strangers, whether it's celebrities, whether it's people you work with, or just strangers in the street, better than the person that you have at home, or better than the person that you love, that you go home to. And a lot of people do that. And
Yes, they do.
basically what she was saying is, if you're going to smile and be good, and talk well, and look happy for the person who's treating you like shit, do it for me. I know she said, hey, fake it for me. I don't think she actually wants you to fake it, but it's better than what you're giving me, the frowns, the disdain, the anger.
Ooh.
And so this is the leave it or medicated. Do you agree with what she said with this? Give her the best part of you, not them. You can go to work and do your job, but give me the best of you, because I deserve it. I'm the one who's been with you, crying with you, being a shoulder for you to talk to. I'm the one is been the person that soaked your tears under my shoulder when you cried on it. I've been the one taking care of you when you were tired or in the hospital. Treat me better than the people you barely see, but don't do anything for you. So leave it if you agree with that. If you have to fake it till you make it, whatever. Or is it too complicated to just be good to the person that you're going to go home to? Like, hey, you got to go to work and be like this because they're paying you to do this, which is a reason why a lot of people do it. They're like, well, I got to work. I got to do that. To me, that just means you're being bought. You can be bought for your emotions. That's what that means to me. So you probably know my answer, but is it more complicated that, or leave it? You should treat the one that's holding you down at home better than the people out in the street.
I'm going to leave it because she's absolutely correct when she's saying that.
Go.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because it's been a systematic trait of being a human being. And I think I've been guilty of putting more effort and doing more than what I should, for whether it's my company, whether I like them or hate them or not, or organizations I've been a part of, or something that I really like. I've given different people friendships, or people you think are your friends, I've given them a lot more sometimes than I have in my own relationships and things of that nature, only because, um, sometimes when things happen in your relationship and you get hurt or something happens, you tend to give less. But the opposite should be happening when we should be giving the person that loves you, person who holding you down, got your back. We should be giving them more of that and giving these clowns at work and these other places a little bit less.
Mhm.
And so it's just a lesson that I had to learn that I'm still implementing those things as I'm moving on in life right now. And I'm 51. So yeah.
Okay. I'm going to leave it just the same.
Are you ready? Go!
And you know what? And I think I mentioned earlier, it's because we can bring it back to money again. People can be bought. When people see the health insurance package you get, how much you're going to get paid yearly, how much vacation time you're going to get, health insurance, all that, dentistry, like they equate that to being more valuable than the person at home. And it's because they don't understand the value of the person they have at home. And I don't mean just your wife, your kids too. And people forget why you two got together in the first place. Both of you are trying to make it to the top because you're a unionized couple. And not just married people, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. But I think the main reason why people do that is they take for granted what they got at home because they see more value on the outside for other things. It's like people see value in shoes be made with the same material as another shoe, but because the name on it is different and
Right.
that name seems to have more value than the same shoe. Kanye wears shoes. I mean, people find value in his shoes. Great. The man's a billionaire off of it, but
I'll never buy a pair of them mother.
do you
sure.
think it's worth $200?
No.
And people will spend $200 on that, but not spend $200 on their kid
Right.
or the person they got at home.
Shit, they won't spend $200 on their health or their teeth.
Yeah, well, there's another. How much value do you have in yourself? So there you go.
Yeah.
And I think also too that's a good point. Is can you have low value in yourself? If you have low value in yourself, then you're going to let someone on the outside dictate what your value is. You're going to let your job dictate what your value is versus the person you have at home. I think that's a big component of it.
Another component is too, based on people's esteem or their highly hyper egos. They're going to buy that stuff. So on the outside, that they're going to look a certain way, like I'm this and I'm that. But at the end of the day, when you home alone by yourself and you come out of those clothes or whatever that is, like you still broke, you still broken down. Your health is your mental and your emotional health, your physical health. And just because you cover it up with name brand things, you'll never be able to escape your mental, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual health. But people do it every day. And most people who do that, some people have good hearts. They have good intentions. But the majority of the people are really mentally, emotionally, spiritually messed up. And again, it's just another option. I mean, it's another way of masking. Well, I got this, I got that, I got Jordans and this and that and the third. I got the latest, greatest, and I got cars and I got the houses and all that shit like that. But
all that's for everybody else.
Are you really happy? It's masking and making people believe that you have or you are this thing. But what I've seen over the years, Red, is
all that stuff is for everybody else.
Everybody else.
No.
I've had a good friend of mine that moved out to California. One was an attorney, and the lady was a doctor, and trying to keep up with the Joneses and fit along with everybody else. They made all this money, but they went bankrupt. And just in this whole process, they had to go back and restructure. If we're going to be together, what are we doing? Like, our relationship health is awful. Our home health is awful. Everything else is immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
But but that relationship factor was messed up. And we have to go back and reinvest in our relationship, like that part of it, to go back to being friendship or friends, or do something that's going to bring out the right in you,
Mm-hmm.
and figure out where all this went wrong. But again, when when you chasing and you getting dreams, like, your moral compass and things of that nature is thrown way off. And I can just say that for myself. People say, "Oh my God, like, you changed so much when you started getting out on the streets and making money. Like, you changed, like, you became a part of, you transformed into this thing." And it wasn't a good thing. So I get it.
Why do you think, though? I mean, here's an example right here. Perfect example. Usually, I don't think I'm alone on the planet when I'm talking about this. Usually, your mate or even yourself, whoever, look wise, when they go outside, the outside people, the strangers, people at work, get the best look of you.
Mm.
And at home, you have to accept the worst of them. Like, you have to accept me. If you love me, you have to accept me for how I look, bad or good. But no one on the outside has to really worry about it. Usually, people get dressed to the nine and look the best they can. Or another example, a lot of people in long-term relationships, and I understand, because things get basic, it get old, and people just don't want to keep themselves up after a while. It gets tired, work, life happens. But guess what usually happens when someone leaves that person and they're like, well, I'm going to find a new person? What do they usually do? They usually go try to get in shape, try to go get the best clothes, and try to impress who? A stranger.
A stranger, but we did not take the time to do it for you when you was there.
Yeah. You don't think the loved one at home wants that? Like, if I'm going to look good, I want to look good for my woman. I don't want to look good for no strangers.
Right.
And to me, that just makes sense. Why are you looking good for people that don't matter to you, that don't dictate, I guess, besides your
Anything.
boss,
Right.
but they don't dictate, how I love you and how I look at you. Yeah, I can accept you for who you are, but why must I accept and no one else has to accept that? They get the best of me.
And again, I've seen this. Like I say, I'm not what you call. I'm still growing. I've learned a lot over life, learned a lot of lessons, but I've seen when married women, I've seen women in relationships, single women, when they got their eye on something, they're gonna go out their way. Let's say if one might have looked like a conservative, somebody would come to work looking like Pippi Longstockings.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, all right.
Pippi Longstocking.
Yeah, I'm just saying she's wear her little two things and her glasses and all that stuff like that. But when you become the apple of somebody's eye, or somebody is really into somebody, that sparks a transformation. And I think that happens for men too. Whereas at home, they might be okay with, being 260, most of it belly. And because they're making the bacon and bringing money home, they go to everybody going to accept that. Right. And a woman, like I said, she looked like Pippi, then she in a relationship or she's married, and all of a sudden now she got her hair all out. She got contacts, and she got new glasses now. She wearing makeup. And she coming to work looking fly. She coming to work looking like I'm trying to find somebody that I find is sexy. My girl. She played him. Oh my God, how did I not forget who she played in Predator. She played in
Oh,
Love and Basketball.
Sanaa Lathan? Oh,
Yes, yeah, dog. People forget it. She fine as a all outdoors, son. Um, but I'm just saying, like, from what I encountered, my experience, I done seen this happen, and I'm like, oh my god, like I didn't even know you could look like that. Like, whew, so now you seeing a whole different side of her, and I know her husband or friend looking at her like, oh my, like what the hell? So
right.
now they up on alarm, like what's going on? This, not the third, but again, I just say that people put their time, health, and wealth into that relationship and making sure that person is feeling good while they're there. A lot of times, why they looking like that is because they depressed. They looking like that is because they going through some things. They're not getting the support at home, or it just got stale.
Yeah,
And they see somebody that gave some attention.
that happens. I understand that.
Yeah. So now,
Maybe he ain't complimenting her. She ain't complimenting him the same way. I get that.
yeah.
There are cases.
So it's a learning lesson.
All right. We'll leave that. Let's see. Let's go into the next. Leave it or medicated.
Leave it or medicated.
All right. Charleston White. Have you heard of this guy much? Charleston White?
For what I understand, I know he's the, streetwise dude, should be in the streets, doing whatever like that. So he's coming back now, like he's trying to give to the community, things like that. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Yeah, you're pretty much spot on. It's pretty much spot
Okay.
on. He used to be in the gang when he was younger or whatever. And now it seems like as he's gotten older, he has a change of heart of what the gang life actually serves. And going into that, he's also going into a lot of today's rappers and the image that is portrayed for Black men and how they view Black women is what he's been spitting lately. A lot of videos lately he shows he's antagonizing rappers that want to meet up with him, slap him, do him bodily harm for his past videos and say, hey, if you want to meet me such and such place, go ahead. And a lot of these rappers will threaten him, DM him, text him, whatever, and then he'll call the police on him. He's like, all right, well, I'm not about that life. I'm going to call the police on you. If you threaten my life, I'm going to call the police on you, because that's what they're there for. And a lot of people are mad at him on one side saying, you're a snitch or whatever. I'm like, well, he's not living a drug kingpin life, so he's not a snitch.
Right.
He calls himself, hey, I'm a regular civilian.
I'm a citizen.
Yeah, that's not a snitch. A snitch is somebody who tells on somebody and they're living in that lifestyle.
They're activated.
Right. They agree to live that lifestyle and whatever may come with it, whether they go to prison for life or become financially well off. You got to agree to live that life. He's not saying he's part of that life. And so if you threaten him, or like Soulja Boy, he had a video about when Soulja Boy came, I guess when he wanted to talk to him about some things maybe he had said, and he said, I want to holler at you. And he said, Charleston said he had like 10 people with him. And like, you don't need 10 people to go talk to one person. And he maced him, the whole crew. And then he filed charges against him because he said he was getting ready to attack him. So like,
but you can't file charges for something somebody didn't do. Well,
I guess, I don't know. I guess it's like, if somebody pulls a gun out on you because they felt threatened, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of murky. If he can file charges like where he felt like his life was threatened, like he was going to die.
He ain't no police officer. Ain't nobody beat him down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference. You can only, or at least I'm gonna tell you what in Virginia, you can't do something to somebody else that they didn't do to you already. So it's equal. So if somebody throwing hands, you throw hands. If they got a bat, you can hit them with a bat. But
you be attacked first, is what you're
saying. You can't, even if you get punched, you cannot pull out a gun in equal opposite force, because that's not
Oh,
what it is.
That's different out here then.
So,
you punch somebody, you can shoot somebody out here.
So if you get, I can see it's like, I'm pretty sure because I know why Soulja Boy did what he did with that. It's because if you affiliated and we want to have a conversation, he brought 10 of his strongest people with him.
Mm-hmm.
You would have already expect that when even though he's formally up with that, he still got people that he probably connected with that to come out there and support him as well. You know what I'm saying? But they still get down. So I'm thinking from that standpoint, like if you want to talk, you can come out. You bring 10 people out here, and this is one me. Now I figure that's a knife or a gun situation setting off right there, because I'm not gonna allow 10 people to press down on me,
mm-hmm.
and it ain't, and it's all good. No, it ain't good. But I'm gonna stand my ground as long as I can. We're gonna have this conversation. But as soon as I see somebody trying to creep up and go behind, I'm like, hey, you gonna step back. Hey, step back. You know, so I don't even think he even gave that a chance.
No, I think he already knew what it was.
Yeah, I think they was gonna get him.
But let's see. But the Leave It or Medicated is going to be, do you agree what he has to say on this video? What I'm about to play are Medicated. He needs to change his mindset of how he thinks rappers are viewed.
Cool.
But earlier, I ain't trying to make friends with these niggas, homie. They got super disrespect. Name me a rap lyric that's respectful. Name me some music that these niggas make that's respectful. How the fuck they go demand some respect when they some of the most disrespectful motherfuckers to the black woman we ever seen? How? And not only are they in it in their lyrics, they in it in their actions. Future got 12 baby mamas, just putting babies everywhere, ain't raising none of them, niggas just making fatherless babies everywhere. When all the statistics say fatherless children, nigga, is at the greatest detriment. How this nigga doing this? So, listen, this is what I'm telling everybody. Nigga, fuck what I say. Nigga, look at what I do in real life. You niggas getting stuck on what I'm saying. You niggas falling in love with the Mackin', nigga. You niggas falling in love with the Mackin'. That's for the hoes, nigga. You niggas falling in love with my conversation. Nigga, look past the conversation and look at what I do in real life. Nigga, I feed the village. I told you, nigga, that nobody bought no Christmas toys. I adopted families, nigga, for Christmas before I went to Miami. So, nigga, I done earned the right to sit up and talk to you, nigga. You nigga been disrespecting the black woman, disrespecting the community. You niggas holler about putting drugs in women drinks, fucking them. Pimp C say I'm gonna kick in the door, rob the nigga, fuck his main honey. I'm looking at rape. I'm looking at kidnap. You niggas just done everything. Now here it is, somebody telling y'all, fuck you niggas. Y'all ain't none of that shit y'all say y'all been, and y'all done us bad for too long, nigga. Now I'm wrong. Man, give us some good rap music. Ain't no more keep your head up. You niggas killing that. And you niggas say y'all will shoot up a nigga mama house. You niggas is killing black women, children, and say smoke them, smoke Tuka. How much more disrespectful can you get? And this woman is begging and pleading with Lil Durk. Nigga, y'all ain't gonna say nothing. She pleading. Y'all gonna look at me like I'm wrong? Nigga, I'm willing to die behind this shit here, boy. I'm willing to die and kill one of these niggas behind this shit I'm representing and go to jail for it. That's a warrior. That's a warrior, nigga. I got that old nigga spirit. Them niggas got that Jew rapping spirit. They got that Jew boy rapping spirit in them, nigga. Go against your own kind. That's why they playing Italian gangster. Cause them Italians do this kind of shit to each other, nigga. Niggas ain't never done this. Niggas ain't never done each other like this, nigga. Fuck them niggas. Fuck them. And come to the streets.
Look.
Strong, right?
Listen. I agree with him 100.
All right.
Because
so you gonna leave it?
Huh?
So you gonna leave it?
I'm gonna leave it. All right. Because
ready, go.
I'm honestly and truly gonna leave it. Because somebody got to say something and call people out on their rudeness and disrespect. to something that we supposed to be calling sacred. That's how we can't come together and get no brotherhood, because everybody trying to pull out a section that they don't own, right?
Yeah.
They ain't got no real estate, they ain't got no land, they ain't got no something that they call they own to protect. And it's not even about protect. It's all about representing stuff that really had nothing to do with us. It's representing a culture of I can get where some of that comes together and saying that, you know, you got these different factions who are protecting the neighborhood. They're not even protecting the neighborhoods no more. They just selling drugs and killing each other over, oh, you stepped across the street, or you got on this color, you got this on the third. When you all could be unifying and getting together as a whole, you could still make money how you make money.
Mm-hmm.
But none of this stuff don't have to come to this, and you don't have to rap about it and put this negative frequency out there that everybody's adopting these mantras, and it's awful.
Okay.
It really is awful, and I understand what he's saying, but he can't be out here and saying that, and then he want to call the police too. Like, I don't agree with that at all.
What do they call that? When somebody's getting set, when somebody sets up a situation, entrapment. That's what it is.
Entrapment, yes, it is. And you know, one of my favorite entrapment people, or not even entrapment, he's an anti-entrapment that I see a whole lot, is Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He always calling somebody out saying, I'm here and it's not the third, but when motherfuckers get there, he ain't there.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Security and have a bunch of police around him too.
Yeah. So you're not representing who you say you really are, in my opinion. Right. But you know, you don't be talking that if you can't back yourself up, or you're not gonna be whatever. But I would just say, if it's gonna be one-on-one, then hey, I'm good with that. I ain't gonna have 10, 20 people standing around me behind me, and when I start whooping them, everybody gonna run in and jump in, try to get me, because somebody's not gonna make it up out of there. Now I'm gonna be brought up on charges and trying to prove self-defense. I'm not with that. Yeah. How you feel about that, Red?
Well, I agree with him, and I'm gonna have to leave it.
Are you ready?
Go! I'm gonna leave it only because it's oversaturation of violence in today's music. Like you said, I don't know where the Keep Your Head Up songs are. I don't know who's common today. I don't know who's Arrested Development today. Where all they're not being pushed, and so if this is all you're seeing, this is the images you're being bombarded with, or the music sound you're being bombarded with, you're going to think this is a regular lifestyle for every Black person. That is so far from the truth, because we are more than just a monolithic type of people.
And white people too.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, and I hate the argument, is just entertainment. Okay. There is movies like Goodfellas, Casino, movies like that. I totally get it. But let me tell you something. Go call Robert De Niro a fake gangster, and then go call some of these rappers a fake gangster, and see which one gets mad.
And see who get dealt with for saying it.
Yeah, it's just entertainment, man.
It ain't entertainment no more.
Right. Because this is supposed to be your word that you're this kind of person. And we know there's some of them do live the lifestyle, but there's a lot of them who don't. But call one of them, actually call both of them, the ones who don't and ones that do live that lifestyle, and see if they get mad or not. See if they're like, oh yeah, you're right, man. It's just entertainment. Don't worry about it. Robert De Niro, like, well, yeah, dude, somebody gave me a script. I acted it out.
Right.
No, I'm not going to kill somebody in real life. I'm not going to rob somebody. It's not just entertainment.
At least he's man enough to say, I was in my acting role. I did my role and I'm out. But I've read some of the backlash, and the problem is with this is that even as a young man growing up from high school and being a regular adult, I can be myself around certain people. Then other people I can't be myself because they're constantly trying to question your manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I have no idea. Bro, I'm 6'3", 200 and some pounds. And just because I don't give up that energy don't mean, or have a certain look or a certain way about myself, don't mean that I can't handle myself or handle you. And too many people have just learned from these movies and different things like that. I need to act this way to be popular. I need to act this way to be cool, to fit in. I need to act this way so people won't be pressing up on me or won't be doing X, Y, and Z to me. Don't be disrespecting me. But at the whole time, you're really disrespecting yourself. Because go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, here's another major difference between movies and music. Movies a lot of times, like Goodfellas, like Casino, like Boys in the Hood, like Dead President. What do they usually show at the end of the movie? The whole movie, usually they're like, okay, we lived a great life. Things are going great. But then things start to break down.
Right.
And it's a sad ending because like this kind of life can get you. And see, at least music today, they're not showing that part. They're showing crime does pay. They're showing if you do this, if you drug a woman, if you call her names and such, you'll get more women. If anything. You know, and some of the women are something to blame for that too, because they're perpetuating that image as well.
And they rolling with it.
Yeah. So, and you can't ask for, you want these type of guys, but yet you're glorifying these type of guys. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they don't show the other side. A lot of times today, I can say probably back in the day, they used to do that. They don't show the other side of what that lifestyle can get you, actually, until it actually happens to them in real life. And which is what he's also speaking on too. Like, y'all living this lifestyle. You're supposed to be getting in a certain lifestyle to get out of another lifestyle. You're supposed to be getting rich, so you're not even living that life anymore. And a lot of them even getting killed.
Yeah.
I thought wrestling was supposed to be the profession that people die young in. We are killing that by like 20 years.
Oh, look, it's no comparison. See, when you're wrestling, doing anything in a legal sport, whether you're knocking somebody else's head off, knocking them out, or winning, or whatever that is, making money, that's legal. I mean, it's legal and it's entertainment. So you got two aspects on your side. Mm-hmm. But when you out in public and you dealing with people, like you got so many strikes against you, you got the general population around you who's hungry. You making this money. You ain't really contributing back to the community. You're not making the community better. The other aspect of it is that people fear you. Somebody on the rise out of the ashes, or somebody who wants to make a name for themselves, is going to come at you. Whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're setting yourself up for your own demise. When you talking all that mantra and that energy, anything you put out from yourself, eventually you're going to get it back. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about this realm, what we living in. If that's the energy you're putting out, you're going to give it back. You're going to get it back. You take a life. You or somebody else's life going to be taken at some point. It's a balance of dues or something that's going on here in this realm, and people need to get it and understand it. All this popularity and going in and saying that, oh, I'm this and then I'm that and I'm all this other kind of stuff. You can do it if you want to. Even innocent people get their lives taken, but it's all started because of some dumb shit that you started, some karma, some shit that you put out there that's coming back. They just happen to be in the premise of the area when the shit happened. Mm-hmm. Had nothing to do with them. So I just really think that people need to start really speaking positivity, start speaking their mantras that are different. And when people say, "Oh well, this sells better," but it has your energy on it. It got your blood on it. It got your spoken DNA, your voice activation on it. What are you saying? So when it come back to you, Rico, somebody shooting up your junk, your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend, your family's houses, and all that kind of stuff. You did this. You started this. Ain't don't cry about it now and play victim. You did this.
Basically, again, you telling me that you can be bought.
Yeah.
You will stoop down and desecrate your own race, gender, whatever, just for a few dollars.
For money.
I won't say a few dollars because some of them are pretty rich off of it. But
Yeah.
that pretty much in the end, yes, you can be bought.
Well, and rich is distorted. When you talk about the rap game, you got people who might have bought somebody a car. They might have bought them a house and then that third, but they ain't got no money for real.
Mm.
It's a perception. And some people really do made and got some money and do some things for themselves, but they're not the ones to really start, for people who support them, to start circulating that money back in their community or doing some good things for themselves and the people who are surrounding them, who support them, who made them rich. You know what I'm saying? So this is a weird place. We're not independent at all from our livelihoods. We're not independent at all. So I don't care, men, women who say I'm independent. I did this on my own. You a goddamn lie.
No one is.
No one's independent. Everybody's dependent. It's like I said, I'm not gonna say it's a food chain, but there's a chain and there's a circle that goes around.
Right.
Once you get in it and you keep yourself good and you give back, that energy flow, you be straight at some point.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's leave that last part. Let's go into the main topic for today. Breonna Taylor. We kind of got quiet on that for a few months, over a year, some change, I guess you could say. But her name, in a fortunate way, has popped up back in the news. Though she did lose her life at a tender age of 26. Actually, she died. It's been over 2 years.
Yeah.
Died March 13th, 2020. It's been a minute.
313.
And I thought that was pretty much going to be the end of it. It seems like it was an open and shut case. And we had to hear the pundits. What do we, I'm going to ask you what you usually heard, but I usually heard when they went and got a warrant for her arrest. And the boyfriend that was with her at the time, that, he should have been shooting back at the police, because he heard a loud knock on his door. What would most people who are gun carrying citizens do if you heard a loud knock on your door? You're going to ask who it is with the gun in your hand, or are you going to be proactive and shoot at the door because you think somebody's breaking in? He had no reason to think that police were at his door.
For sure.
And I'm reading through these accusations. Some things just came out about the whole arrest, attempted arrest, or attempted murder, however you want to label it. There was no way that he could have known, or she could have known, who was at the door. All they did basically was knock on the door. And
loudly in the middle of the night.
I say knock on the door. That probably shouldn't be the word I use. They tried to kill, basically.
Battle ram.
Yeah. And so they got scared. They were sleeping in the middle of the night, got scared, heard this loud sound. And they, like every other, it's a constitutional right to protect your home and not have unlawful warrants served. Not have people just come into your house unlawfully and kill you. There's a constitutional right. And it's also constitutional right. And where's the NRA when it comes to cases like this? Gone. Where's the NRA saying, oh, she should have been able to protect herself. He should have been able to protect himself against tyranny, as some people want to call it, when a part of the government tries to come into your house. They should have been able to protect themselves when tyranny tried to break into their house that night. And so I'm reading through these charges. They got 4 federal charges against 4 police officers. So let me pull that up right quick. Let's see. So a federal grand jury, this is in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's see. The Justice Department has charged 4 current and former Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Breonna Taylor's death. This is from Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. Let's see. Let me play the video that played that day when the arrest happened.
Earlier today, I spoke with the family of Breonna Taylor. This morning, they were informed that the Justice Department has charged 4 current and former Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Ms. Taylor's death. Those alleged crimes include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction offenses. The 4 defendants were charged through 2 separate indictments and 1 information. I'm going to begin today by discussing the civil rights offenses that stem from the falsification of a search warrant. We allege that these offenses resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. These charges focus on the conduct of the Louisville Metro Police Department's Place-Based Investigations Unit. In the first indictment filed today, we allege that in early 2020, that unit was investigating suspected drug trafficking in the west end of Louisville. On March 12, 2020, officers from that unit sought 5 search warrants they claimed were related to the suspected drug trafficking. 4 of those warrants targeted properties in the west end where that activity was allegedly occurring. A 5th search warrant was for Breonna Taylor's home, which was approximately 10 miles away from the west end. The federal charges announced today allege that members of the Place-Based Investigations Unit falsified the affidavit used to obtain the search warrant of Ms. Taylor's home, that this act violated federal civil rights laws, and that those violations resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. Specifically, we allege that Ms. Taylor's Fourth Amendment rights were violated when defendants Joshua Janes, Kyle Meany, and Kelly Goodlett sought a warrant to search Ms. Taylor's home knowing that the officers lacked probable cause for the search. We allege that the defendants knew the affidavit in support of that warrant contained false and misleading information and that it omitted material information. Among other things, the affidavit falsely claimed that officers had verified that the target of the alleged drug trafficking operation had received packages at Ms. Taylor's address. In fact, defendants Janes and Goodlett knew that was not true. We further allege that defendants Janes and Meany knew the search warrant would be carried out by armed LMPD officers and that conducting that search could create a dangerous situation for anyone who happened to be in Ms. Taylor's home. As outlined in the charging documents, the officers who ultimately carried out the search at Ms. Taylor's apartment were not involved in the drafting of the warrant and were unaware of the false and misleading statements it contained. When those officers executed the search warrant, Ms. Taylor was at home with another person who was in lawful possession of a handgun. When officers broke down the door to Ms. Taylor's apartment, that person, believing that intruders were breaking in, immediately fired 1 shot, hitting the first officer at the door. 2 officers immediately fired a total of 22 shots into the apartment. One of those shots hit Ms. Taylor in the chest and killed her. We allege that the defendants knew their actions in falsifying the affidavit could create a dangerous situation, and we allege these unlawful acts resulted in Ms. Taylor's death.
Okay, shorten it up a little bit.
Bro, they didn't know They thought this is going to be this a regular, whatever they're going to do on a regular basis, cover their thing up and keep it moving. But once the officer got hit, they wasn't expecting that. They wasn't expecting somebody to be there to give resistance. They wasn't expecting somebody to be there with, with the falsification and lies. But this even goes a little bit deeper, right? There's been many times in my life that I've been picked up, I've been arrested for supporting somebody I didn't know the whole truth from, right? Your boy called you, was, oh, so this just happened to that, you on your way. Rolling over there. Squab it out, do whatever we need to do, squash the situation. Yeah, okay, yeah, we victorious. Yeah, we won. This is in the third, right? But later on, when you find out what the truth was behind the situation, why he called you, we just know that's our homeboy or that's our sister. That's my nephew or whoever that is, and not getting the whole picture, the whole story before we move on. They just say, oh, they jumped us over here. No, I'm out. Come on. All right. Now I got a crew coming, not knowing the truth behind the situation or why the situation happened, and knowing that the nephew or whoever might have been wrong. The other people might have been wrong. But at the same time, you put your life on the line behind somebody else's word, dog. You put yourself in danger behind somebody else's word a lot of times. I'm not saying I don't do that anymore, but when I was younger, say word. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my way. And we put ourselves in a line of fire based on something that may not be true. You find out later that it's not what you thought it was. And now you got a warrant for your arrest, or you got an indictment or something that's going on in regards to you. And I think that's really messed up, because now I'm looking at all this, it's just like, yo, you got a police gang, you got a civilian gang, you got all these different little things going on.
Right.
And they trust in somebody, a superior or whoever that is, and you just acting out, whether that's, and that goes to military, that goes to MCs, motorcycle clubs, that goes to anybody else. Somebody who's a superior ain't always going to tell you the whole story, the whole truth, and you go out and put your life on the line for somebody who is lied to you, didn't tell you the whole damn truth before you even got out there to do what you needed to do. And it's awful. But I'm glad that they got, quote unquote, they're being brought up on charges on this, because it didn't make sense.
Albeit 2 years later. Yep.
Yeah, but sometimes our due process seems, with the melanin skin, is way later. It ain't immediate. But if the shoe was on the other foot, you already know what's going down, right? Well, we ain't getting out of jail.
But these ignorant bastards all try to make this seem like the right thing to do, because they always want to bring up the past. And they want to bring up, what she did in the past, because the reason why they were saying they were looking at her house was because basically an ex-boyfriend was supposedly trafficking drugs through her house.
He could have changed his life.
Could have. It doesn't matter though. Eve, that's what due process is. Let's say he is guilty, or let's say she is guilty. Why is murder is the way you handle that? I mean, you supposed to go to court for that. You get murdered by someone in the court of law for murder. It's called a death penalty, but you got to go to court to handle all that. She wasn't being accused of murdering somebody, neither was the other guy. That's beyond the fact. This was extreme how to handle the situation, and they figured they had some sitting ducks. So I guess they figured they couldn't get a legal warrant, and they had to falsify reasons why they had to get this warrant to arrest her. Not even arrest her, but go break in the door. Because normally, if you're going to kick in someone's door, you have to, I would imagine when you go through training, you have to understand that there's a possibility that you could get shot or harmed somehow because you're breaking in.
Yeah.
You're breaking in someone, anybody whose house get broken in, you have to understand there's a chance you're going to get hurt, especially if that person may be carrying a gun or whatever, stabbed, whatever, attacked. You have to understand that that can possibly happen. Or somebody just jump in the hallway and you may be ready to shoot to kill as a police officer, not even ask questions. And
right.
Unfortunately, again, this girl was only 26, and I don't know how this other guy didn't even get shot. And he's the one that pulled the trigger, but he's lucky to still be alive, But let's see. So Detective Joshua James, one of the four, who's 40, Sergeant Cal Meany. See, they were charged with federal civil rights and obstruction offenses for their roles in preparing and approving a false search warrant affidavit.
A false warrant affidavit.
Yep.
You know how big that is, dog.
Yeah. Just imagine though, you cannot believe this is the only time this has happened.
Right. So I'm gonna add this element to it.
Yeah.
I think based on, I don't care if it was, they may have had somebody on the outside who they had pinned up or arrested saying like, yo, this dude got money. He be hanging out over her house and this and the third. I think he'd be hiding money there, because he don't be bringing no product over there. We're going to say he got product coming over there, but I think he got money.
They could have been lying about that too. Remember, that's what they told us, but they could have been lying about that too. We don't know.
Right. So I'm thinking there was some type of disrespect done where they couldn't get him on a natural basis. They said, okay, look, man, fuck this dude. Or they were trying to extort him, or somebody gave them intel, like he hold money over here, or whatever that is. So there's some things in play here. And they was like, we're going to go in there and get this money, or we're going to take his ass out one way or the other because, he ain't complied to our program. He didn't comply to our extortion, if that's what it was really the situation. You know what I'm saying? And they went in and it didn't turn out the way they thought it was going to turn out. And that's what one thing I just noticed about when I say living in this realm, you can plot up any plan that you want. You think you got it covered from A to Z. There's always something in between somewhere that is out of your mindset of what you can't conceive or control. And that does happen. And I am glad that these officers is brought up on this, because this is not something that, bro, it's just like racism. You were born into this world not knowing anything about nothing. You were taught how to live, how to move in your life. How do you think these officers got the way they are? This is a culture. This is something that they are taught this, or certain members of a crew teaching this, and they're going along with it. Just to be accepted, just to stay in the norm, to hold a job, keep a job, or we're gonna get rich, or how they say 50 Cent, we're gonna get rich or die trying. So I'm just saying that it's a lot in this mess that people say, oh, I'm trying to go to Detroit, I'm trying to go to Cleveland, I'm trying to go to New York City and all these other places, and we're trying to clean up corruption. You were part of the corruption.
Right.
And I'm just saying, it's an awful deal.
I'm surprised there was even a whistleblower on this, but somebody blew the whistle on this and came to find all this information to indict these 4 officers.
How can you sleep at night?
Oh, comfortably
knowing that you did what you did, and you still didn't get what you wanted out of it.
Right. There was more things I didn't even hear about this case until recently. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff coming out about it that you didn't even realize that they messed up when, as far as it came to charges, and messed up for her constitutional rights to Breonna Taylor.
But I already knew when they talked about, they said, oh, the dude was in the house and he had suspected packages and this and the third. I said, uh-oh, that was a red flag for me already.
It doesn't even matter though.
It don't, right. And like, wow, oh, you going to throw this in the mix to make, trying to salt. You know, it's like they take things and they put salt in the game to make people think like, oh, this is the reason why we did this. People accept that more. Oh, black people, they do this and do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, kill them, hunger. We get that shit out of our neighborhood. It wasn't true.
Right.
But it raised a red flag for me from the gate. When they said that, I said, nah, don't believe that, fam. Don't believe that.
Did you hear about, one of these charges were, let's see, so Detective Brett Hankinson, violated the civil rights offenses for firing his service weapon into Taylor's apartment. Listen to this part. Firing his service weapon into Taylor's apartment through a covered window and glass door. It's a huge no-no.
Yeah, like.
And also, too,
there could have been kids in that bitch.
Exactly. And on top of that, some of those bullets went outside of the apartment and into neighbors' apartments as well. So they could have killed other people. So it was just sloppy all the way together. But they didn't care. I can just imagine who their neighbors were.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't care about the value of their life. They, by any means necessary, were trying to either get her arrested or DOA.
Right. And
and also the one woman, Kelly Goodlett, she actually turned herself in. She's one of the 4 that actually turned herself in because she knows, I believe, she knows like, okay, this is looking bad. I'm gonna go ahead and get ahead of this before I get worse charges than the other 3. Or she's gonna probably accept a plea deal. That's just my opinion. I think she's going to try to accept the plea deal and try to get less time. But she knows something. You know, she's a part of, there are text messages exchanged between her and another officer where they talked about after the shooting happened, what they could do to cover it up.
And that fucked them up.
Right. You know, but let's see. What did she get charged for? See, she's charged conspiring with Detective James to falsify the search warrant also for Taylor's home and covering their actions earlier. If I can say she's the least guilty one, but yeah, her hands, there's blood on her hands as well as the other 3 officers, but
absolutely.
The other 3 were above her head. No. She was detective. Nope, take that back. LPMD Detective Kelly Goodlett. So nope, she wasn't a regular cop. So no, her hands are just as bloody as everybody else's. She should know better. But these are the people you got to worry about who's going to protect. Like I said, I'm never going to say I'm in favor of defunding police because that doesn't work.
Well,
we need people around, but I am in favor of defunding bad police.
Yeah. So my thing is, they've already been funded for different reasons, right? And I think
fund their training better. How about that?
So they've already had money elected and done to these departments every year. It's a fiscal situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
When other entities or corporations came in to give them more money they were trying to exploit the police and different things, having these shows and all this other stuff that was going on. It was like a celebrity shit going on. You know what I'm saying? So with all these other different projects and different things they had going on, it just made them more bold and confident. as far as their activities on camera, yeah, we're going to act to the best extent of the law, but really in reality, it was almost trying to portray them in a certain light.
Mm-hmm.
But behind the scenes, it was something totally awful and something totally different. You know, they would do the opposite of what they would do when they was on camera and got whatever's following them and all that stuff like that. So, so when they say defund the police, they already have annual funds. This is like any other fiscal thing they got going on for federal programs, state programs, and things of that nature. They already have that. They got stuff already set up, overtime, all that different stuff. So, but I really felt when, you know, they exploited certain situations and they just got out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just got totally out of control with everything that was going on. And you remember it was a deep cover on the deep cover.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne and
Omar, the Omar Epps.
No, okay, I'm thinking about a different movie. No.
Yeah, so yeah, like deep cover. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just adding Omar Epps for the other movie that he did with LL, right?
That's In Too Deep.
In Too Deep, yeah. So we got deep cover, In Too Deep, and I'll be seeing these other shows and different things like that where whether it was rogue agents and different stuff like that, they got in too deep and they were playing the role of this criminal so long or doing this and that so long that when they needed to come out and do the right thing, they didn't do the right thing. They stayed because they was like, this is more profitable for me. I like this lifestyle. I like whatever this is. I want to stay in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of this stuff is starting to come out now. You know, in the public eye because of videos and video cameras and people reporting and saying stuff, and they find discrepancies and lies and things they put in these reports. So that is what it is. And I think the officers, if they want to vindicate themselves, they just need to start. I don't care what you did in your past. You need to start doing the right thing from today moving forward.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this last part.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically, in a nutshell, what they violated. Okay, all the civil rights charges that are involved here, alleged violations, are from Title 18, United States Code, Section 242. This states this makes it a crime for an official acting under color of law, meaning an official who is using or abusing authority given to that person by the government to willfully violate a person's constitutional rights. A violation of this statute carries a statutory maximum sentence of life imprisonment where the violation results in death or involves an attempt to kill. The obstruction counts charged in the indictments carry a statutory maximum sentence of 20 years. And the conspiracy counts carry a statutory maximum sentence of 5 years, as does the false statements charge. Actual sentences in case of conviction are determined by a judge. So this is a big deal. And I think if everything holds up correctly, from what I'm hearing so far, that's why I think Detective Kelly Goodlett, allegedly, if she did this, I think this is why she turned herself in, because she knows this does not work. She hears how much these charges can carry. She's trying to get ahead of the game before the hammer is brought down on her.
But it's going to whop regardless. She don't understand it, but I'm glad she had a conscience at some point, or whether it was self-preservation or how it's going to go. This privileged situations that these people got going on out here is coming to a close. The whole vibe, energy is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming down on these folk now. Like they had many years of doing these things, violating civil, violating the person. They're the criminals, and they're the criminals above the criminals on the streets.
Legal.
And yeah, legal criminality. But again, when you got certain things set up in a system, based on where you're at some point you're going to cross some lines or something somewhere that's going to get you hemmed up like a spider's web.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been doing it so long that they don't think that's what it's supposed to be, because they've been getting away with it. And people are, and even when they get caught up in this like that, who you think is supporting the upper chain? So the upper chain is getting something as well.
Right.
Got to be, because how would they even know to do the things that they do if this information wasn't shared or privy to, or give you even the information to try to cover up something?
All right. I totally agree with you. All right. We're going to end the show on that note there. We got some dinner reservations you got to get to.
Yeah.
You got some good eating you got to get to, and I got to go cook my dinner. You know?
handle that.
Hot Pockets with a fork.
Hot pocket. Yo, you got any spinach or kale with that?
Oh no, we don't do that. We don't do that. We're not doing. The only time I'm gonna eat that is if it's actually in the Hot Pocket, because I know they got some spinach Hot Pockets, and actually, no, I'm not doing that either, because kale and spinach does not belong in a Hot Pocket. Only meat, pizza in Hot Pockets over here.
So yeah, look, I'm reason I'm saying that because it does help to purify your system and get your system straight. That's all.
Nothing in a Hot Pocket is going to purify. It's like putting kale inside of a hot dog, man. That's not going to purify. It's like kale flavored beer. That's not going to purify.
Oh yeah. Look, yeah, it's separate, like a salad. Can I have a salad? But we got to do it. We got to do it though.
Put some fat back on the salad. It was like you just ruined the whole salad. It's like putting a drop of oil in water. You ruined all the water just by
for sure. Yeah. The only thing that I don't think is the apple cider vinegar, organic apple cider vinegar.
Man,
I take it to the head. Like
I can't drink that, man. I wish I like apple cider vinegar, but I know people that drink that and swear by it every day. But
pour a shot in your water and stir it up and drink it.
I'll pour a drop in my water. I ain't pouring a shot. I ain't messing with it, dude. One drop messes up everything. I don't even like lemon touching my water, let alone apple cider vinegar. Yeah, you know that little when somebody brings you, or at least brings me some water, and I can tell me like you had lemon in this, didn't you? Like, oh, I'm sorry, it probably touched his lip. I know,
bro. Like it's important. You need to get it.
To purify me without asking my permission.
No, look, let's say put the lemons on the side. You can drip the juice in this.
Right. You get ask for my permission. Don't force me to be purified. I put the COVID shot in my drink. I don't know. You got to ask me first. I got human rights too. That's my constitutional right, is to be able to drink pure water.
Oh my God.
Well, that's great, but all right.
I'm back.
You all right, man? Hey, man.
I'm chilling. Hold up.
What's up? What's up this shit, man?
I'm good. Yo. Oh, man. I appreciate you. I'm about to be out.
Yeah, take the glasses off.
Therapy in the house.
We'll see y'all next Thursday, 7 p.m. Check us out on YouTube. Like button, subscribe. We'll be back. Y'all have a good night. Don't get in any trouble. Don't do anything that Chris wouldn't do. Well, shoot, then I guess that counts for everything. Then Chris laughing like do everything Chris will do. You only live one life. There you go.
One life, baby.
Right. Yeah, thank y'all for getting hospital therapy, not because you want it, but because you need it. We'll see y'all.
Need it.
Peace.
Peace.